UC, we have the advantage of giving each student more attention with our smaller size, and we hope that students not only learn the craft of their instrument but help to develop an individual voice. I think UC is a place for people who really love music, who want to explore options. We have a really vibrant community of people who are composing, who are writing music in a traditional sense on paper. We have people who are writing songs in bands. We have people who are improvising in a more jazz setting, and people experimenting with electronic music and all sorts of things in between. These connections you're going to make here, the personal connections, I think are one of the most important things that you can expect to get out of UC. Music is a social thing. When we play music, people gather together to listen, or even if it's on YouTube or something like that, people go there to watch it, and it connects people, and people like to comment. And so this is something that the university is, a strength of the university is we offer this community that you can be a part of. But still at the heart of music is the sound in the air, and that's what performers do. They work with their instrument, whether it's their voice or some instrument ranging from violins to laptop computers, and hone their skills on that instrument. We all want to hear good music, and so where do we find good music? Well, it comes from musicians who have worked really hard, and the university is a place where you can hone those skills.
So what is new music? New music is anything, basically, that's not old music. It's music that's being composed now in the present day. It's more or less the same as what you might call music composition. We decided to name the program New Music rather than composition because it's more inclusive of other genres. Composition is often understood to mean only notated music, so you have to write music with pencil and paper, and it's going to get played by traditional instruments, maybe violins or clarinets or cellos or something like that. But in the New Music program, you can also write pop songs, you can create beats, you can write music for media. It's really completely open. And we're never happier than when we have a student who comes in who thinks of something that's never been done before. That's really what it's all about. So who can study new music? I'm firmly of the belief that music creation is for everybody. If you've got a little bit of background in music, if you played an instrument, if you read a little bit of notation, although that's not always necessary, you can create music just as well as anybody else can. The kind of music that you create when you're a student at UC is completely up to you. So what happens in classes in new music? So we have a sequence of core classes which are just called composition. You can find them in the calendar, and in these classes you have the opportunity to write whatever kind of music you want. At the end of each semester you present a portfolio of a number of different compositions, which might be electroacoustic music, that is music that's composed for loudspeakers. It could be music that's notated for people to sing or play on instruments. It could be music for a short film, or it could be anything else that you can think of. There's really no restrictions about that at all. So that's your primary kind of output and activity as a new music student.
Music culture is important. Music is not just notes on paper, it's not just vibration in the air, but there's a context around it. There's lots of different histories and different cultures, what music means to them. Music has been around for ages, and has developed quite differently in a lot of cultures. In some ways we can draw connections, and that's important, but I think maybe even more important is the differences and the histories of how that's come about, how that's changed, and what does that mean to us today. And finally, how does that inform your music? So I know for myself that really learning about a culture, or even our own culture for that matter, and kind of giving myself some opportunities to do some research, to do some writing, to be able to speak and articulate my thoughts and my understanding about the issues is a really important part to informing my performance. And of course, this is where we get, the great thing about university is the dialogues we get with all of the students, and agreeing on certain things and debating. And music culture is really a great space for that. And I think at the UC we provide a safe space for that, and lots of resources. The library is a great resource, but all of our faculty here and the courses we have will give you the tools, I think, to start thinking a little more critically and to broaden your ideas about what music is.
So one might study performance at UC because of the sense of community that you join. Your individual interests are looked after by a superb faculty, but so you also join a very active, creative community of fellow performers. So for example, if you are a performer on the piano and you get to collaborate with a vocalist, that always gives you a new dimension to the sense of musicality that you're exploring. Likewise, if you are an instrumentalist and you meet a composer, it's always exciting to see what your instrumental playing can become through that kind of collaborative connection. At UC, we offer a great deal of wealth in terms of collaborative possibility across styles, across disciplines, and certainly between musicians. At the conclusion of your studies of performance at UC, you are going to leave with a great amount of skills for a future life as a musician, should you choose that path. It's very important to us that you don't only learn, for example, in performance to play your instrument really well or sing really well. We want you to be able to have the tools to really connect with fellow musicians, with business people, with your community, wherever it is that you choose to settle. That's really important to us because if you are going to have a future in the arts, your ability to connect with people is what's going to be your greatest strength, in addition to your talent.